Hello and welcome to the Healing Habit Podcast. My name is Ashdin Doctor and I'm going to be your habit coach. And with me we have Mariko Hiyama, who's
Hi.
going to be our healing coach. So, Mariko, I'm very excited about today's topic. Do you know what we're talking about today?
Yes, today we're going to talk about morning habit. How we're going to start our day is so crucial. Do you want to start your day with a bad mood? Or do you want to start your day with a good mood? So this is something we're going to create a new healing habit.
Especially, how do we create a sense of healing, a sense of well being right in the morning? So that when we start our day, it already starts in an empowered way, full of healing.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
Mariko, what we're going to do is we're going to share a few ideas around this morning time. So, when I ask you, what is morning time for you?
Morning time is when the sun started showing their face. So I normally sleep when I'm in Hong Kong, where I have my apartment where I've been renting over a decade. I on purposely do not close a curtain. The reason why I do this is that I can sense when the sun rises. I know that's a new day. So I can slowly start my day mindset to wake up as the sun rises.
Now, that's so different from what I do because I have blackout curtains in my room because for me, sleeping in pitch black is something very important. Also, I normally wake up before the sun comes out, so there is no way I can wake up with the sun. So, very often I end up seeing the sun much later after I wake up. So, it's so interesting to see how our habits are different. How do you sleep? Do you sleep with your curtains open? Do you sleep, with your curtains shut? Let us know in the comments below. So, when you wake up, what are the first few things you do that you know are going to be healthy and healing for you?
So what I do when I wake up, actually only when I started mindfully starting my mind for the day, even without stepping out of bed, I start my day with using my hands, placing my hands to heart and abdominal to take deep breath. So this way I will not make my body rush into the heartbeat. I can slowly tell them, okay, this is my morning. I am going to prepare myself for the day, especially because I do face touch for my clients. I want to make sure that I start my day with a centered mind and gentle approach to my body. How about you, Ashdin?
So, for me, I think the biggest thing that we need to understand is that the morning time is not a rushed time.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
We make a big mistake by waking up full of adrenaline with a loud alarm clock. Then we have to jump out of bed. Then we are late and we keep running around. So I noticed this with my clients that entire rushing of the morning is extremely bad from a mental state point of view as well as from a healing point of view.
So true.
So what's interesting is that your body wakes up naturally by producing a stress hormone called cortisol. It's almost like your body's alarm clock. It wakes you up with that stress. It's not stress the way that we think about it. It is basically the way that our body uses it to wake us up. What happens is that if you then start rushing, it is like you are amplifying that stress. This is also why people say don't wake up immediately, have coffee, because coffee again is a stressor on the system.
Exactly. I was going to say about this part as well. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Because I think it's so important for us to wake up and start our day with water.
Yes.
We completely devalue the quality of the water and what it does to our system. Because remember, for 7 hours or 8 hours that we're sleeping, we've been dehydrated. We've not been drinking.
Exactly.
So this first, 500 ml of water is actually very, very good to flush the system, get everything moving, and rehydrate ourselves.
Absolutely, yes. And then when you drink this water, not the cold one. Otherwise, your body is going to be in a shock. Like, oh, it's too cold suddenly. I personally prefer to drink lukewarm. I boil once and then add a little bit of cooler water, or I wait until the water cools down. So during this cooling time, I can just take my time, start preparing today's clothes, all these little things I can do. So that's another way to prepare morning water.
So people are listening to this, Mariko, and they're thinking, how are these people waking up in a calm, relaxed way? Because my days are rushed. I have to get the kids ready, I have to go to the gym, I have to cook, I have to do so many different things. What is one tip that you would give them in order to get back into a more relaxed state in the morning?
I think that starts from the previous night. How you going to the sleep? Will you go into the bed sleeping mode after making an argument with your family? Or do you actually go into sleeping mode with a calm, relaxed mode? I think this previous night preparation makes a huge difference.
So your habit is to prepare the previous night
Yes.
on what you're going to do the next day, so you wake up in a calm manner.
That's correct, yes.
For me, the habit is to just start waking up half an hour earlier.
That's also a very nice way to do it.
Because we completely devalue what just half an hour can actually do for us. So when you wake up for that with that just half an hour of a gap, you get 30 minutes of maybe, doing your journaling, doing your meditation, doing your gratitude practice. Maybe you'll do a Tabata workout. All of that can happen with just 30 minutes.
Yes. So in that case, let's say I have a few people around me, they have to wake up very early because they have to take a ferry to send their children to school. So I know many my islanders neighbors, they wake up even before 5 a.m. and bring children to the pier first, and also themselves they take the same ferry with the children. So they normally take around the 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. ferry. So in that case, they have to prepare themselves very, very early in the morning. So I would like to be the sort of guide this even 15 minutes start day before children or partners start waking up. Take 15 minutes for themselves.
So now that you've taken those 15 minutes, what are some of your energetic practices that you can do to start your day in a healing way?
I think just sitting a quiet corner and close eyes in a sitting posture, because if you're laying down in the bed, we might fall asleep again. And that's sometimes I do. But just to finding quiet place in the house and sit for 5 minutes first. And then start sipping warm water. And then use these 15 minutes. Anything makes you feel happier, help you to be ready for the day.
Okay. Can you show everybody something that you would do from a face reflexology point of view in the morning to start your healing process?
That is a very good question, Ashdin. So normally what I do for the morning to just to give a stimulation to gently wake up is actually tapping using your finger, gently touching forehead. It's like waking up. Good morning. How are you? And then come to this point and gives you a very gentle, calm sense of waking up.
Where is it in the middle or is it above your nose?
This is the beginning of the eyebrow head and connecting with the nose.
Any number of times to do it?
Normally I do between 5 to 10 times. You would really feel how many times is ideal. Sometimes just 3 times can be easy enough. Sometimes I go up to 5 times. It really depends on your intuition.
So it's like you wake up your children by tapping them. This way you wake yourself up and your face up and your entire system. What system would this be called? This would be called your meridian system.
Yes, these points are connected to our energy line, runs through the entire body systems. So by knowing where to tap, even 2 points, that would be a nice way to start a day.
Nice way to start.
What do you normally do for your start of the day?
So for me, I think a great way of doing this is to do a full body stretch or a full body exercise routine. So obviously you might go to the gym, you might do something for an hour, but even a 4-minute Tabata routine is something that's important. This is why, you know me, I talk about the Tabata workout all the time. It's just 4 minutes of 20 seconds of high intensity, 10-second breaks, repeated 8 times. And I've made videos that you can check out where you can follow along and do it. But the idea behind this Tabata is that you start your day with a big win. You've already finished a large part of the exercise that you might want to do, especially for people who want to get into the exercise habit. You don't need to change into your, exercise clothes and running gear. You can do it in your pajamas.
Yes.
And you just get your body moving. And you will see how good you feel with those little boost of endorphins that come from that 4 minutes of exercise.
Totally agree with you. And in terms of the physical movement in the morning, I have one story to share with you. So I had my lovely grandmother who lived this life fully up to 100 years old. And you know what she was doing every morning? She does her own stretching and moving the joints. Each part of the joint, wrist, ankle, even just the knees, basically every single part of the body she uses to stretch out and start with a small movement in her bed. And everyone agreed that.
So without getting out of bed, you start the stretching movement.
Yes, yes, that's how she started her day every day. And we learned in the daily life, I had living example, how this person maintained the habit, routine, ritual to maintain her health. And
all the way up till 100.
yes, and then mentally everything was fantastic. So I have the living proof in my family. So we cannot say, I can't do it. No, we can do. We
You
will
can
do.
see it, you had life proof. Also in
Exactly.
Japan, I think as kids you all are taught lots of exercises that you all do,
Yes.
and then you all are taught this, right?
Yes, and actually now it's a summer holiday season in Japan. If you are living near school or park, you might hear this typical song. Well, for us it was typical because it's a summertime sound we call radio taiso. It's in Japanese. Basically physical movement along with the radio music. Because in Japan, we had this tradition after World War II that somebody came up with a fantastic, catchy music with a physical movement. And every morning, even the companies, they practice this physical
What does it
movement.
sound like? Can you hum it out? Can you sing it?
Dun, 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 dun. You can actually find it on YouTube too.
Oh yeah? And then you start working out to it?
Yes, and then
You should do a Tabata routine with ta 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 ta.
it could be an option. And when we were in child, so I was going to explain. So around 7 a.m. or it could be earlier. So somebody in the community bring this radio back then, and then play the music. And there's also the words to guide you, the cue. And all the community, the students and the aunties and the fathers, uncles, they come together and then we do the same movement to start the day. And when I was a child, I thought like, oh, every morning I have to wake up early. It's hot. Why do we have to do it? But then at the end of this physical movement gathering, you get the stamp in the note.
Oh, you get a stamp.
Yes. So at the end of the summer season, we could show off like, see, I went to this gathering in the morning.
23 times, and you only went 15 times.
Yes. So that was a nice way to compete, but also to show the achievement to each other. And it's good also reward it. Oh, you made it every day during the summer holiday. Well done. So that was like good childhood memory. Although I didn't like back then, now I really appreciate. Actually, as a former yoga teacher, this radio taiso, the physical movement through the radio, wow, ticks every single movement that we need to do to maintain our physical strength and vitality, agility. So that program, actually, I have a big, big respect. Whoever created this, amazing. Very nice movement. I highly recommend.
So we've started our day with exercise. We've started our day with water.
Yes.
I'm going to add one more habit to this, which is asking yourself, what do I want to achieve today?
I love that. I love that. Yes.
So you add purpose to your day. Very often we go from one day to the next without actually understanding what is the purpose of today. We go back to thinking, oh, today is going to be exactly like yesterday. There's no difference between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When actually you can realize that you can make this difference by just asking this one question: what do I want to achieve today? What is the purpose of today? And it could be something as simple as I want to go out and buy something fancy for myself. It could be I want to go and help a friend. It could be anything that you decide you want to create purpose for. But creating purpose is the key part of this day.
Absolutely. And that actually, I used that method when I was working in Japan. I was in a banking and, helping the people who might have created too much debt in life due to whatever the reasons. Could be personal life, could be business. And I saw many people were struggling how to deal with the amount of debt. And back then when I was working in that particular branch in a division for 3 years, every morning I had this setting. Today I am going to help those people who need a guidance to come out from the debts. The life might be struggling, and allow me to find a solution together with these clients, with the colleagues. And it was quite tough work, but with that intention every morning, I truly enjoyed.
It becomes fulfilling. Otherwise what happens, Mariko, is that you go from day to day saying that, okay, this is what the company has given me as KRAs. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And we almost become robots.
Yes.
And we weren't meant to be robots. We were meant to be human beings. And human beings have compassion as a very important part of this. And when you showcase compassion, you start feeling compassion. That's a beautiful thing. And we don't realize just how healing compassion is. Because if we weren't living in a place of compassion, we would be living in a world filled with either regrets, or we would be feeling jealousy, we would be feeling FOMO. All these negative emotions come out. But when we actually approach our work from a place of compassion, from a place of gratitude, from a place of purpose, those negative emotions cannot come in.
That is so true.
And that's what I want everyone to feel, that energy and that vitality.
As if like we are filled with the light. So there is no space for the dark light to come in and influence us in a negative way.
Yes.
So I think filling up ourselves, mind, body with the bright light that brings up your soul, your energy, your vibration, I think that would be a nice way to create a good start of the day.
We keep talking about gratitude, right? There's a beautiful practice that I learned from a person called Mantak Chia. He's one of the Qigong and Tai Chi practitioners. And Mantak Chia has this beautiful technique. He calls it the inner smile. What he does is he says, start from your toes and move up. Go through your entire organ system, thanking it and asking it, how are you feeling today? So what do we normally end up focusing on when we look at our body? We think about our face, we think about our nose, we think about your ears, eyes, because that's what we can see. And we always look in the mirror and say, oh, this eyebrow is not proper. Oh, this wrinkle is coming. Oh, my nose is too big. Instead, what if we said thank you to this organ system? So imagine your you start saying thank you to your stomach. We keep blaming our stomach for so many problems. Thank you to your stomach for the digestion. You thank you for the kidneys, for the filtration. You say thank you to your liver for absorbing all the toxins, for doing so much work, for taking care of all the sugar and the glucose that we keep suffering it with. But then we talk about the few organs we've completely forgotten about. Our spleen. When was the last time you thought about your spleen? Where is your spleen? It's so interesting. Your gallbladder. You start looking and you start realizing, oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgotten that I had a spleen. And it's been working tirelessly your entire life, constantly keeping you healthy. Don't you think it deserves a little bit of gratitude and a little bit of thanks?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. So I completely understand this approach because when I touch people's face, basically I'm talking to them through touch on the face. And each part of the face has a reflex zone and reflex points which are connected to the rest of our internal system, physical body. And actually by touching, I can sense, oh, this person forgotten to take care of this part of the body. So now let me just talk to them. Hello, I'm touching to heal something that you
Hello, liver. How are you feeling? Where is liver?
liver, there are many face maps. So often we use different zones, but I see this area on the right side, this area. 99% of the time, I can sense if something is not
Right with the liver.
Yes.
Too much alcohol, too much sugar, too much fruit
anger.
juice, too much anger.
This, I tell you. I know from their belief systems and whatsoever, they don't drink. But I sense something from the liver reflex zone. So I try to figure out, okay, this client does not drink alcohol. So there's no way there is influence. Anger. Have you been feeling anger, irritation quite some time? Like they look at me. How do you know? That's my job. I touch your face and I can actually sense what's happening.
Anger. Yes, I'm angry all the time. I was angry before I came to meet you. And I'm fine. See, that's her.
Yes. And sometimes they don't even figure out anger. I don't even know actually I had anger. Okay. Probably we need to talk with Ashdin to check
Where anger is coming from.
Sometimes we suppress so much, so we don't even notice that was anger.
It's so interesting when people come to see you, they come in with a frown on their face, and when they leave you, they feel like they're a little child. You can see it on their face, they're happy and glowing.
Yes.
I think that's also a part of healing, because healing and happiness are so interrelated.
That is so true.
When you don't have any health problems, the chances of you being happy are so much more. But as soon as you have a health problem, even a small thing as a backache or a headache, all your happiness starts fading away. So maintaining that health of either your body or your mind is such a critical thing.
Absolutely. So English word of well-being, heal. There's something also the meaning behind with the sense of happiness, but not the excess amount of happiness because that would affect your heart. So just the right, moderate.
What do you mean by excess happiness, Mariko? How can you be excessively happy as a bad thing?
If you go only after for happiness, energy you're producing will go beyond your capacity. In that sense, your heart starts working too much. And then suddenly reach the limit. Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot deal with this amount of high, happiness. Can you calm down a little bit? So that's where we start bringing the calmness, Zen mode. Not too dark, not too low, not too high. Just the right middle line of being.
So not too happy, not too sad.
Yes.
So little happy, little sad, little happy, little sad, little happy, little sad. Yes. Or just like little happy.
Of course, sometime in the life we have this extreme happiness, like when, let's say, when you decide to expand your family and you have a new baby came into the house. That happiness, it's tremendous happiness, right? So that sort of happiness is fine. But then at the same time, you realize that so much to do for the baby, and that brings the stress. But then when you go through a tough time to raising newborn baby, you think of the moment when the baby arrived, the happiness. So you see, tough time, but happiness. You need to always
have that balance.
Yes. Then you can keep moving. There might be some days really tough, but also when you think about the happy time, you get this nice energy to keep moving. So this balance, how to use your experiences, the feeling, emotions, memories, that's another way to
maintain your
happiness. Yes.
And your mental health, I think, is important. I think we're so after chasing after pleasure, chasing after, these states of highs, that we don't realize that actually the state of your sea level of emotion is actually what the body wants, and your body actually recovers during that time.
Yes. So where this, how to use the waves in our life, how to understand, how to use the height of the waves, that would connect to creating the habit which would be your anchor point. Once you know the anchor point, this wave up and down would be a little bit
More
more
manageable.
manageable.
Now, our podcast is called The Healing Habit. So there will be people listening to this podcast who are going through something that where there is illness or there is disease in their body. What is one habit, a morning habit that you would tell them to do if they have an illness or a disease?
I think I will look from the emotional side. Of course, there are different degree of illness and sickness. If you still have the consciousness to feel and think, that would be a very difficult part. So how to deal with it is always touch base. So it can be done from your loved one, from the family members or caregiver, or if you are capable to move your body itself, hands itself, even you're constantly laying down on the bed, if you can move your hands, giving loving touch to yourself is a one simple way to begin. And those who are watching this, listening to this podcast, if you have a family members, loved one who has been going through illness, difficult moment, that you want to do something to help them, you can start by placing your hand to their heart, to their abdominal, to even to forehead, anywhere that can give them the sense of peace, sense of healing. This would be the first step.
What you said was so powerful because very often we wake up and when we are ill or when we have a disease or we have a backache, the first thing is that our attention goes there.
Sure.
And we almost curse that body part. Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, I don't want this to be there. And we start living in that regret. It just makes it worse and worse and worse. There are a couple of things that I've started doing with my clients, especially when they have a disease, is every morning I ask them to think about what is the disease trying to tell you. So what have you come into my life to teach me? If it's diabetes, have you come into my life to teach me to be healthier, to move more, to put on more muscle, to check the food that I'm eating or check the stress that I have? If it's a back pain, is it telling me that I need to think about how I'm working? Maybe I'm spending too much time playing games on my phone. What is causing that back pain? What have you come here to teach me? And if you ask that, you will suddenly realize that that pain drops by about 50% in its potency.
Amazing.
Because now you've acknowledged the pain, but you're not fighting the pain. I keep telling people that the more you fight something, the more it exists in you. The more you resist, the more it persists. If you stop resisting the illness or the disease and actually start owning it, not as this is my diabetes, but what have you come to teach me? And treat that illness as a visitor in your home, not as a permanent resident.
Not as a permanent resident.
Not as a permanent resident.
Nor enemy.
Nor enemy. It's a visitor, it's a guest. You've come to my house, you've come to teach me something. Fantastic, I've learned now, you can leave. So when the time is right, that disease will leave. And I know it sounds so esoteric. I've seen it happen so many times to people. And it's not a magic thing. It is that the body is trying to communicate with you. And it starts communicating in a whisper. And then it starts communicating a little louder, and then when it finally becomes a shout is when we start listening to it.
True.
Unfortunately, we need to start listening to our body, listening to our mind when it's just a whisper. When that first negative thought starts coming in, when that first thought of dissent starts coming in, when that first ache starts coming in, we don't ignore it. We say, let me stop it now. Is it the shoes I'm wearing? Is it the pants I'm wearing? Is my wallet only on one side? Like right now, sitting in this position, my right side is starting to hurt. So
you have to change the
I have
position.
realized that I need to start doing something. It has become a whisper, soon it'll start shouting at me.
Yes, and also the mobile phone, if you tend to keep mobile phone in your left chest pocket, and then if you start feeling, something is like strange on the left side, take that mobile phone away, put it somewhere far away from you.
Correct.
These like little things.
So important. Like I've started noticing that when I used to keep my mobile phone in my right thigh pocket, that my right leg started feeling different from the left. it started feeling a little warmer to touch. So I started now keeping my phone in a pouch away from my body.
It's very important.
So, you start listening to these small, small things to see, is there, you can always dismiss everything by saying, no, this is pseudoscience. But don't look at the pseudoscience part of it. Instead, look at it as a communication.
That's beautiful. Looking at that little signs as a communication. It's beautiful.
You use yourself as the experiment. Don't rely on somebody else. Don't rely on us. Use yourself as the experiment and see what you learn from it.
That is actually such a good way of affirming that I have been doing. Actually, I studied from my own self-pain on my back since when I was a child. And I didn't know how to fix it. Of course, when you're 7 years old, how are you enlightened to heal yourself? But eventually, I discovered the pain was emotional disturbance and lacking of proper movement. And now I'm pain-free. I wish I knew how to deal with the pain when I was a child.
Correct. For me, when I was very, very unhealthy, I was 20 kilos more than I was now. I couldn't climb up a flight of stairs. I was extremely unhealthy. My entire job was basically sitting on a computer or sitting in front of the TV after that. I never moved. And I believed that a backache was normal and it was a normal part of growing up. Imagine this is what the programming was there in me, that every adult will have a backache. And I took it for granted. So I got a massage chair because I said, if you're going to have a backache, then might as well have a massage chair as well. Not going back to the root of the problem. So if we actually understand the root of the problem, and where does the root of our life start? It starts in the morning, in the day. So if we understand what we're doing in the day, we can understand what the rest of the day is actually going to be like. If you understand the root of your illness, you can actually solve that.
So true.
All right, Mariko, any last thoughts before we say ta-ta to our...
For the morning habit, start your day with the edge of your lips moving upward. Can you do that with me? You can use your fingers to lift up the edge of the fingers. And leave your fingers, maintain. And good morning to all. Ohayo gozaimasu. Buongiorno.
Ohayo gozaimasu. And one last thing, stop snoozing your alarm. Wake up with the first alarm, if at all. Otherwise, don't use an alarm. You're going to see a huge difference in your life. See you next time. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, to subscribe so you know when future episodes come out. If you have questions for us, drop them in the comments below. Reach out to us. This is what we are here for.
Okay, then looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Wish you a wonderful day ahead.
I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and with me,
I'm Mariko Hiyama, face reflexologist for Healing Touch.